Hi, welcome back to Herbal Bunny's Pharmacy. My name is Dr. Tamitha Davis. Today I want to start the series on autoimmune conditions. But first, before we get started, if you have an autoimmune condition and you want to find some natural solutions on how to help your body heal itself, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Okay, so before we dive into the autoimmune issues and some natural ways of help to reverse them, I want to talk a little bit about my autoimmune issue, and then we'll start talking about some of the things that I had done to kind of help me in my healing process. Back in like 2016, 2017, maybe 2018, I can't really remember, but I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called POTS. It stands for Posture Orthostatic Tachycardia Syndrome, and I had what got me into the doctor was I was having skipped heartbeats, and when I stand up I would feel dizzy, my heart would be racing, and I felt like I was going to pass out. I had a plethora of tests over a course of like a year, and they just determined it was probably anxiety or some other dysautonomia. They said I could have been having like a food allergy or just blood pressure issues, whatever. So they put me on beta blockers. They put me on another medication. I can't remember what it was, but it really messed with my nervous system. I don't remember exactly how long I was on the medications. I did not like how the beta blocker made me feel. My resting heart rate got down into the 30s. And whenever I stood up, I felt even more like passing out, like things would like whoosh, and then like it go black and then come back. I'm like, okay. So getting into the natural health field back in 2016, it was 2016 when I actually started my medical journey. I started researching different autoimmune conditions and the benefits of eating whole plant-based food diet, and that's kind of where things started to change in my life. I had gone to a naturopath who decided to do food allergy test and sensitivity testing, and that's where I discovered a lot of the foods that I was eating I was sensitive to, and they were triggering an autoimmune response. I started doing some natural remedies that the naturopath had put me on, and I would start feeling a little bit better, but things started to get progressively worse after I had came off of birth control. I believe in like 2019, I had gained a lot of weight, and a lot of my symptoms I had before came back, and they came back with a vengeance. I started keeping track of various symptoms, particularly the one where my heart was skipping beats, and I started to notice a pattern that they were kind of more worse, is that a word? They were worse during the time heading up to my menstrual cycle. And this is when a light bulb went off, like in 2020, and we were all during the shutdown. I was really just studying a lot on my school. A light bulb went off and said, you know what? I think autoimmune diseases is kind of in the realm of hormone imbalances. So I really started to focus on balancing out my hormones. I had irregular periods. I had very heavy periods. I had some crazy symptoms. My periods were extremely long, like 12 days long. And I had a lot of other symptoms that kind of went along with it, like anxiety, rapid heart rate, sinking feelings. They would all just be worse during my menstrual cycle. And I'm like, I really feel like there's a connection here. And I like to go into prayer and meditation. I've done some research. There are other holistic doctors out there that kind of believe the same thing, that autoimmune diseases is linked to a hormonal imbalance. And that was the case for me. Maybe not for everybody, but I'm thinking 99% of autoimmune diseases is linked to some sort of a hormone imbalance. In my past marriage, I did have fertility issues. We went for 10 years. We did not use any protection. I just thought we were really lucky because I didn't want to have any kids in my early 20s. I wanted to have fun. I was like, okay, once we get to closer to our 30s, we can, just start trying. But you would think whoopsie daisy at some point that we would get pregnant. But During some testing, we found that we would have to do fertility treatments, and he was going to have his parents pay for it. Long story, blah, blah, blah. We ended up not going that route, and we did separate. And fast forward to 2020, when I started working on my own hormones and getting things balanced and having regular cycles and feeling better inside myself, that a lot of the anxiety had gone away, the POT symptoms had gone away, and I ended up getting pregnant. Was not trying. Definitely was not trying. But it happened because my hormones were balanced, my body was healing itself, and now that I'm pregnant, I have this, extra stress. I'm like thinking, what's going on, and there is hormone fluctuations and stuff, and a lot of my POT symptoms are coming back. So of course my natural mind goes to, okay, well, maybe it wasn't a correlation between the hormone imbalance and the autoimmune disease. Maybe it just went into remission, and then this here triggered it because it is a stressful situation and everything. But thinking of the different hormonal swings and things being not normal to my own body, if you've been pregnant, you'll know all these hormonal changes and stuff, that it can, in fact, trigger an autoimmune issue. And I've known people, just doing research and personally, that when they had got pregnant and they did have an autoimmune condition, that it did, in fact, trigger more of those symptoms. Okay, so I want to talk about some things that you can do to help you to get onto your healing journey. First, if you can do a food sensitivity, food allergy test, that is going to greatly help you in this journey. I will put a link below to the one that I used, and I don't know if they have a discount code right now. I'll have to double check, but I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get paid for referring them out, so I just want to make that disclaimer. By eliminating some of these, or most of all these food sensitivity, there's a difference between food sensitivity and a food allergy. So sensitivity can trigger an immune response. A food allergy means that you do have an allergic reaction to it. You can go into like anaphylactic. So that's a sensitivity and allergic reaction are two different things. But by eliminating these foods, it will help to calm down the autoimmune response. I want to go down a rabbit hole just really quickly here about my theory on why foods that we commonly eat can trigger an immune response. I've done several researches on this, and I have not found a whole lot of scientific data to back this up, so this is just my observation. And when I go in my prayer and meditative state, it was just something that was kind of revealed to me. Plants in nature has their own immune system, okay? And when they have invaders that come in, it helps to protect them from these invaders, just like our own immune system. Now, scientists have came out with a brilliant way of being able to genetically modify these foods in order to help build up more of a resistance, because our soil is depleted. These plants need vitamins and minerals from the soil to help them boost their immune system, just like us. And they've come up with ways to help them to be more resistant of sickness, disease, funguses, bugs, things like that. Corn is a huge one. Wheat is a huge one. And most people, when they do these food sensitivity and allergy tests, they're going to come up with either corn, gluten, wheat, rice, grains, things like that. But because these plants have been altered, genetically modified to have a better immune system, which makes them have chemicals in them to help with their immune system, we ingest those chemicals in a regular amount in that plant is okay. But when you start to monkey with its genetics, then that's where we start having more problems. So when we eat these plants that have been genetically modified and we're not eating organically, it can start to wreak havoc on our system, and I believe that's what's triggering the autoimmune response. Again, that's just my observation, my opinion. I have no data to back that up, but it's what makes sense to me. Okay, back to things that you can do to set up for getting your autoimmune condition reversed. While you're waiting for your food sensitivity and allergy test to come back, there's 5 foods that you probably should eliminate because they're going to greatly reduce inflammation in your body, and most people have sensitivity to these things anyway, so it's just be great just to eliminate them for a period of time while you're trying to heal. So we have eggs, wheat, corn, dairy, and sugar. Now, I'm not trying to turn everybody vegetarian. I've said that several times in other videos, but eliminating processed meats and other processed foods, so if it's in a can, a box, or in the freezer or in the aisle somewhere, you probably want to steer clear of that because there's a lot of preservatives in there, a lot of chemicals, and we definitely don't need that because they can really wreak havoc on your immune system and make your autoimmune symptoms a lot worse. If you're going to be eating meat, make sure that like the fish is wild caught and not farm raised, and you want to eat foods like salmon. It's not some of the bottom feeders, but salmon, cod, things like that. I do eat salmon every now and then. If you're going to be eating poultry, make sure that it is free ranged. Shop locally. There's plenty of farmers in my area. I don't know about your area if you live in a city, but you can reach out. There's different co-ops and stuff that you can buy food locally, and meat that's not been injected with all kinds of hormones and antibiotics. So do your research if you're going to be eating meat, but we want to stick to a predominantly plant-based diet while we are healing. I'm going to be making another video on like a diet plan that's part of this autoimmune system series. I just wanted to kind of just introduce you guys to some of the things that we're going to be doing, and then I'll talk more about other things to be eliminating, but this was just a good starting point to help you guys on your autoimmune healing reversal journey. And this is something that's not necessary, but if you just want to so you can have kind of a guideline, getting different blood tests done for iron, your ferritin, your thyroid checked, your free T4, free T3, your TSH levels, your vitamin D levels, things like that, and getting like your kidneys checked, get your liver checked, see what your function is in your liver and your kidneys. And this will just kind of help you also get your A1C checked too. This will help to show you your progress. You can get your cholesterol checked if you want to, just some of the basic stuff that people can go to a doctor and easily ask to have checked out. And if your doctor won't do it, find another doctor, because these are some seriously just basic blood tests that people can have done. All right, you guys, I am going to end this video, and I will make another video in the next few days about what the diet is going to look like for people who have autoimmune conditions. And yeah, please go ahead and subscribe if this is something you're interested in following along. All right, you guys, have a great day. Bye.